Hi, everyone. I'm Alexis Williams, co-founder of Business Skills for Health Professionals, and welcome to our podcast, Beyond Clinical. In this podcast, we'll be interviewing health professionals from diverse backgrounds who have moved into unconventional roles beyond clinical. We'll be hearing their stories and tips and hope that this inspires you to pursue unique career paths. This is our 11th episode of the podcast, and I'd like to introduce you to today's guest, Erin Good. Erin, do you want to say hello to the audience?
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for joining. So before we get started, I just wanted to share a little bit about Erin's background. So Erin Good is a registered and licensed dietitian and a corporate registered dietitian with Hy-Vee Inc., which is an employee-owned corporation operating more than 285 retail stores across 8 Midwestern states in the US. With over a decade of retail dietetics experience, Erin's passions focus around patient-centered disease prevention and risk reduction, inspiring total wellness approach and realistic goal-setting solutions. You can find Erin appearing weekly on the local news through the Midwest and on Hy-Vee's YouTube channel in the series titled Hy-Vee Healthy You, and we can link that in the show notes. She's providing healthy, delicious, simple meal and snack inspiration on that channel. Erin is also a regular monthly guest on iHeartRadio's Need to Know with Jeff Angelo show. Awesome. So thank you so much for joining. We'll jump into the questions if you're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So I really like to start with something fun. And I just wanted to ask you, is there anything like health and wellness trends or practices that what's your favorite one at the moment?
Yes. Okay. Well, to name just one, I'm probably gonna name two, Alexis.
Sure, go for it.
I am a huge hot yoga fan now. So, I mean, I
Ooh.
got into this probably like 7 years ago, but something about, all the multitasking we do all day long at work and at home. And then just the sense of calmness and peace about going to your mat, putting your head, on the floor and like how grounded I can feel. And then just moving my body with intention, reminding myself to breathe. I have just really enjoyed that for my mental health, but also my physical health too.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so fun. I got into it last year as well. I kind of fell off the wagon, but it's something I do want to get back to.
I would say, especially when it's hot, it can be an adjustment for sure. But
Oh, yes.
I really just love that it's something that's not always so high intensity, high impact.
Mhm.
Those have their days, but sometimes I find, especially with my women, we're so go, go, go. And sometimes we just need something a little lower intensity.
Mhm.
And then I would
Awesome.
say from a dietitian standpoint, the whole food as medicine movement, I can't
Mhm.
wait to see what that brings. In Hy-Vee world right now, we've made a commitment to the White House that we want to educate 100,000 Americans in low income, low food access communities by 2026. And right now we're at 64% of our goal. So we're making really good progress, and I can't wait to see, what this year will bring.
Wow, that is so exciting. That is such a great company goal and exciting to see your progress on it so far. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'd love to hear a little bit about your career journey and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. Okay. So, being in Iowa, so I went to Iowa State University. They have a very strong dietetics program. So I graduated from there with my degree in dietetics, Spanish minor. And then from there, I went to Peoria, Illinois, and attended OSF St. Francis Medical Center. They had a 1-year internship program. What I loved about that had a very strong emphasis in community. And
Mm.
so, given where I'm at now and just kind of my career journey, really enjoyed their emphasis on nutrition presentations, cooking classes, TV. I still got a strong clinical background, but then got the opportunity to really see another side of dietetics impacting the community, doing more, maybe larger scale speaking and impacting worksite wellness, which I'll talk more about kind of where that's
Mhm.
my passion at nowadays. But so I attended there and then started with Hy-Vee as an in-store dietitian in Des Moines, Iowa. Um, I was the only dietitian in that store. And then from there, Hy-Vee was growing and expanding. So then just further out west, in West Des Moines, they built the flagship store. So they actually hired 2 dietitians at that store. So that was a fun change
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, I've always had dietitian coworkers, but not in the same store as me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I had, a coworker in the same office as me that we could bounce ideas off of. Really enjoyed that. And then if you fast forward to 2020, joined the corporate team. And so there's 30 of us that have gotten more opportunities to do, I would say, nutrition, communications, large scale. So kind of like what you mentioned, more TV, social media, radio projects that I didn't have before.
That's so cool. I love that journey. And I love what you said about the benefit of learning about community nutrition and how that set you up well for retail. I'm not sure everyone realizes how much community nutrition is part of being a retail dietitian and how
Yes.
impactful it can be in the communities that you serve. I don't know if you
Hmm.
have anything to add there.
You're right. Well, and I think it just depends on each internship. I had
Hmm.
friends that had more time at a VA hospital that I didn't get. But
Hmm.
mine, we did more with outpatient clinics too, whether it was
Hmm.
a weight loss center, an HIV clinic, eating disorders. So I think it got me thinking of outpatient setting, and then it took me even further to we do like cooking classes for the outpatient oncology um,
Hmm.
patients. And so that was really neat to just educate them. Again, kind of this food is medicine. We just didn't call it that back then,
Hmm.
and just teaching people how to cook and empower them to want to be healthier and see how that could impact their health no matter where they're at in their life.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. So obviously you've probably picked up a lot of different skills in this journey. Can you talk about some of the skills that you've found transferable throughout your career?
Yeah, so I'm sure, dietitians, we are such superb communicators because I
Hmm.
joke, I mean, we can really make friends or establish rapport with a customer who's really a stranger in a matter of minutes. And sometimes
Hmm.
those are uncomfortable or tough conversations. I mean, it could be regarding obesity, it could be regarding high blood pressure, or, mentioning their blood sugar and how if they don't get it under control, it could lead to some bad outcomes. And so
Hmm.
I think we're so good at being empathetic, really good listeners, and then just establishing trust with the customer. And so I think that's
Hmm.
one that, I mean, we are really great at communicating.
Hmm.
I'd also say we're really good at adapting to change. So
Hmm.
at least at Hy-Vee, we have a section called the health market, and that's really dedicated to a lot of our current diet trends, whether it's gluten-free, low FODMAP, paleo, keto. I go on vacation for a week and I come back and it's like there's a whole bunch of new products I hadn't seen before. It's just always changing and evolving. It's a really exciting section of the store to explore, but I think it keeps us on our toes, it's always changing. So we're
Hmm.
great at adapting to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say those are the two big ones.
Absolutely. I think that the first one that you talked about is so valuable in a lot of settings beyond a typical dietitian role. So if you end up working in more of like a business and industry setting, that ability to connect with people is so valuable because, it doesn't matter who you're in the room with. You could be meeting with a senior executive or, somebody on another team. You have that skill of making connections, kind of understanding people and
Mhm.
understanding what their goals and objectives may be, which I think can help with collaboration as well. So thank
Yeah.
you for
And
highlighting that one.
it's neat that we can build small talk and it doesn't just have to be around the weather.
Yes,
Or, so I'm like,
absolutely.
we are awesome at communicating, I think.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. That's awesome. Can you talk about how you network both internally and externally, outside of like your company and into the industry?
Yeah. So internally, I would say we really network a lot with different vendors and brands. So from a
Okay.
business aspect, this is huge. Usually we'll partner with 1 to 3 brands every month. And so at
Hmm.
Hy-Vee, we'll just call it our dietitian pick of the month.
Hmm.
Usually that brand will see a double-digit increase in sales. So we're helping just spread the word about their product, the nutrition attributes, maybe how to cook with it. So that's a really neat opportunity for the brand. I would say we also do a lot with you can do leadership classes within Hy-Vee. So doing Dale Carnegie, I did that a couple years ago. That was really neat because I got to network with other Hy-Vee colleagues that weren't dietitians. So sometimes,
Mm,
we have a big team and you do a lot with your own dietitians, but here I got to work with marketing, HR, sales, and they really got to see more of what we can provide. Because again, I think
mm-hmm.
sometimes we just think we're the food police, and, we do so much more than just that. We don't even do that.
Yeah.
And then externally, I would say just the more you can get involved with local gyms, attending health fairs, and then really doctor referrals. So at least with
Mm-hmm.
Hy-Vee, we like to know our providers in the area, and we get a
Mm-hmm.
lot of one-on-one consultations from the doctor referrals, which is
Mm-hmm.
huge. And it's a great relationship. And then I can always, follow up with them with chart notes, and it's a great way to improve the community as a whole.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love what you said about when you're in a large company, taking those opportunities to attend some of the corporate trainings that are available, because like you said, that's one of the best ways to meet people outside of your team in different departments. And that can sometimes lead to career opportunities that you might never have thought of. So I love that
I
one.
I agree. Yes.
Um, what did you need to learn the most about when you kind of maybe started out, coming from like a science and health background into, working in a retail business?
Oh, I laugh. So I took 0 marketing classes in college,
Mm,
and my lesson or hope for anyone who's still in school right now to take at least one marketing course, because
mm-hmm,
not only do you need to market yourself, but then you need to market what a dietitian is, what we do, or what we can provide. Because
mm-hmm,
again, I just think it's a real missed opportunity still. We're always trying to market ourselves, because people just don't know exactly what we do. I mean, like, they know we deal with food,
mm-hmm,
but they don't know the scope, and the scope is so large. And even
mm-hmm,
at Hy-Vee, it's always changing. I mean, so now we offer screenings that we never used to provide, which is a great opportunity for someone to learn their cholesterol screening and then learn how food impacts that cholesterol. And so the more marketing you can get in advance, I think the better. And then if you do work for a retailer, just know that, I mean, we market all kinds of foods because we sell, healthy and unhealthy foods. So I think from a dietitian standpoint, we're so good at meeting the customer where they're at. So if they want to have frozen pizza or high
mm-hmm,
chai, Hy-Vee Chinese, for the big game, teaching the consumer or marketing to them, you can just add more to your plate to boost that nutrition and not, make them feel guilty for buying the pizza or the Chinese, but like, how can you add more to your plate? So putting a
mm-hmm,
positive food marketing spin on it, I think, is really
mm-hmm,
crucial.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's one of the benefits of dietitians working in retail is that ability to help consumers navigate like all the choices they have and exactly how to optimize them. Not to necessarily say don't do that or don't eat that, but how can you make that a better plate as a
Yeah.
whole? I love that. And I love what you said about marketing. I think it's so important. And there's so many aspects of marketing. Even to this day, I keep learning, new things. Especially now as like an entrepreneur versus working in a corporate setting, there can be a lot of
Mhm.
differences there too. So I think you're
Yeah.
right, though. Definitely learning as much as you can about marketing is so valuable.
Hmm.
What do you love most about your current work?
Oh, okay. So, well, being in retail, I always think we have the best teaching tools at our fingertips because we have
Mm-hmm.
the food, right here. So whether it's eating healthy on a budget, you could tie in price to the health food you're looking at, or you could educate on the label, or you could educate on taste. Maybe you're going to open the product and taste it with the customer. I really think that differentiates us from an outpatient dietitian setting, which
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. That's still great teaching tools there as well. But that's one thing I really enjoy about my job. And then kind of like what I mentioned, so we've started doing screening opportunities at the grocery store as well. So right now we provide, it's called a biometric screening. So we do your lipid panel. We also offer A1C screenings. So both of those tests take 15 minutes or less. The customer, I'm doing the screening with them. And so I get the results. Then we can also, educate on how food is impacting those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really love this. I mean, I guess as dietitians, sometimes we're kind of numbers and, we love
Mm-hmm.
the data, but you can do it in a simple way. It's a very short appointment and it gets them to come see us when maybe they they don't want to go see the doctor yet. And so
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can catch them too while they're in this stage of change, and it's maybe not the best stage of change. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're starting to look more pre-diabetic, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
great way to catch them, educate them, and then we have this great relationship so they can keep coming back to me for guidance and help. And I think it differentiates us from those other, large box retailers that don't have dietitians.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think what you said, it's just making it so accessible.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you're right,
very
like not
simple.
everyone wants to go to their doctor and, get full blood work panels done. Like some of these things can just help people, when they're ready to make that change and they're in the store and ready to go, just gives them
Mhm.
that opportunity to kind of have a quick check to see where they're at.
We
That's so
started doing
valuable.
vitamin D testing this past year,
Ooh,
and we're doing it again this year. And being that we're in the Midwest, I mean, oh, it's a
yeah.
great teaching opportunity. So many people are very deficient, or then it lets you talk about foods and supplements,
Hmm.
and then you can refer to the pharmacist. It's a great just team partnership all around.
Yeah, and I spent 10 years in retail as well, so I definitely
Yeah.
love the setting. I love how hands-on you can be. You talk about something like vitamin D deficiency, you can walk them over, show them all the different types of supplements and options for them. Like it's just so hands-on. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are some areas you're working on developing for your own career growth right now?
Yeah. So, I mean, leadership and worksite wellness are probably my two biggest passions, given that, yeah, you've been in the retail industry for a while now, and it's just learning how can I be the most clear and concise communicator, whether it's one-on-one or in a larger business setting. Maybe I'm giving a presentation, because as dietitians, we have so much knowledge and we're so passionate, and we want to share it all in a,
Hmm.
30 or 60-minute appointment. And so I'm really just trying to be better at how can I step back, give shorter, smaller, I call them nutrition nuggets, so that
Hmm.
the customer can really leave, feeling happier than when they first came in and not feeling overwhelmed. So that's one area I'm really working on. And then with worksite wellness, I'm just really passionate about helping stop employee burnout and having
Hmm.
employees show up, being their best, most productive self. And so whether that's going to businesses and also doing, cholesterol screenings with them, or doing a cooking class with them, just again, trying to provide some little like nutrition nuggets to
Hmm.
help them show up and feel their best.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I think there's so much value in both of those things for, your own growth and becoming just a more succinct communicator,
Yeah.
and helping people distill like all the complexity of these messages. So valuable.
Yes. Because I mean, when I first started off, it was a bunch of handouts. It was a lot,
Hmm.
maybe too many goal settings in one
Yeah.
appointment. And just realizing like I need to simplify this
Hmm.
and also do more teach back, making sure
Yeah.
they're hearing and understanding what I'm saying. Because sometimes it can be a bit of a foreign language depending on the customer.
Hmm. Well, I think a lot of the skills we learn as counselors, such as like motivational interviewing and some of those counseling techniques, can be really valuable in other workplace settings too, as you maybe if you ever in a leadership role and you're, working with your team and coaching your team, there's a lot of transferability between patient care and leadership. So
Yeah.
great skills to hone in on for sure. If there was one thing you could share with your early career self, um, what would it be?
I love this question. So this was a great opportunity to just reflect, which I don't know if I
Hmm.
give myself enough reflection time, over the years. But as a dietitian, looking back, you're a difference maker. You're a change maker. You're going to impact someone's life so that maybe they live longer. Their
Hmm.
quality of life is better. Their relationship with food is better, or maybe their relationship with their spouse or their family members is better. And those
Hmm.
were really big, impactful things that, yeah, my younger self wouldn't have realized how much of a difference, dietitians are making in someone's life. And that's some big purpose to show up every day. That gives you drive and energy.
Oh, yeah. I think that's something that comes with time too, as you start to go through your own life and realize the impact of things like healthy eating and just the lifestyle that you may lead as a dietitian. you realize how much that impacts your own health and wellness. And I think
Yeah.
that's when it starts to hit home. Like, when you're young and you're starting out, some of those things you just don't even really think about as much. So I can totally
Mhm.
see that one being a real eye opener. I love it.
Mhm.
My last question is, what advice can you give to listeners who are interested in finding a career kind of outside of a typical clinical role?
Yes, I love this question. So I would say being comfortable or start getting comfortable being uncomfortable because that's where you're going to see growth.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're wanting to get out of a clinical role and like you said, maybe go into more of a business dietitian setting or maybe a retail setting, start getting uncomfortable. Embrace
Mm-hmm.
that because you're changing and you're growing. So if it interests you, Hy-Vee's hiring. We are currently
Mm-hmm.
looking to expand our dietitian team. We want to be around 150 dietitians strong. So if you want to
Wow.
join a large network, have a large group of coworkers that are dietitians, um, I've shared with you, Alexis, but you can
Yeah.
go to Hy-Vee.com/careers and you can see all the job openings. Again, we're in the Midwest, so 8 states in the Midwest in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But you can really have a fun, job making a difference in your customers' lives. And if it interests you, I mean, we have a great flexible weekly hours that you set, you determine your own
Mm.
schedule. We have dental and health insurance. We, um, we have a 401k with a match contribution, so there's a lot of other benefits. You also get discounts on your groceries when you shop. That's probably like the number one
Yeah.
question I
That was
get.
an exciting one for me working in retail. I do miss that.
Yes. So I'm like, please, I mean, check it out,
Yeah.
explore it. If you're bilingual, we are added or actively seeking that right now as well. So again,
Awesome.
it's Hy-Vee.com/careers. We would love
Okay.
to have you join the
Awesome.
team.
Yeah, no, I think retail is such a great place to get started in kind of a different type of role. There's so much you can learn from working in that setting. So I encourage a lot of my career transition clients to consider retail
Yeah.
opportunities. So I love that you have shared those. And I did also share them in um, some of the groups that I have, the Facebook group where I do weekly job postings. I put them up there today. So you can definitely check them out there as well. That's awesome. Anything
Awesome.
else you'd like to share kind of before we wrap up?
Oh, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity and thank you for having these platforms to really help dietitians find out what else is out there and even just maybe reaffirm we have all these transferable skills that we have a seat at the table, depending on what that looks like for you, but we have a lot
Hmm.
that we can bring and contribute.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. So thank you so much for joining. I'm just going to wrap up the podcast. So I
Okay.
really hope that you enjoyed hearing from Erin today and you're feeling inspired. If you do want to engage more with the community, as I mentioned earlier, I have a free Facebook group. It's called Business Skills for Health Professionals Community. I'll link it in the show notes. I also have two exciting ways to help you as a health professional. If you're wanting to make a career transition to something new, I have the Beyond Clinical Career Transition Program. And if you're a health professional already working outside of clinical, I have a brand new network and membership launching March 1st. So I will link those in the show notes so you can find out more about both of these programs. So thank you so much, Erin, for joining. And yeah, have a great rest of your week.
Hey, thanks for having me and have a good rest of your year.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.